Hey friends, hope you're well. Sid Benity here from hybridaibrain.com. Today we're going to talk about how to replace expensive software so that you can start owning your own technologies. In this particular instance, and I'm going to look here to the other screen here, what we have today is an estate planning, customized estate planning, business, nonprofit, foundation, and tax drafting, scanning, and client storage technology systems. Over the past 15 odd years that I've been practicing those areas of law, I've been subscribing to very expensive software from Clio, Wealth Counsel, Asset Map, and all kinds of niche ones, Go High Level, WordPress, right? ClickFunnels, and several other CRM-based or automation systems. So at some point in time, I had to decide every dollar which I was going to invest. Should I put it in technology or should I put it in, human resources like hiring more people, staffing, or office or marketing? So as you know, if you're running a law firm, all of these expenses add up. And sooner or later, as you continue to evolve, as you continue to grow, the more sophisticated your practice gets, or the larger your practice gets, so does your tech bill. Okay? There's no way around this. Or until now, I thought there was no way around this. And my practice, mainly, this is one area, and intellectual property is the other area. I compress the business, estate, nonprofit, tax work, all of those scenarios were actually derived from my IP clients, the tech companies I was representing. And so a lot of the technologies that we built back in the day involved, again, raising investor money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and finding a tech team. Excuse me. And this is generally the back-end architecture of what they built. So I wanted to start designing with AI now. In the last year or so, the capabilities of individuals like us who are not coders, who are lawyers, right? Who understand work processes, systems, workflows, particular nuances, the insights in your business that nobody else has. How do you turn all of that and eliminate 3, 5, 10K worth of monthly SaaS expenses by building your own platforms with various AI tools, right? What I'm using here is a combination of Manus, which is Meta's platform, ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, okay? In this particular instance, Gemini is not necessarily being used, so it's a combination ChatGPT, Claude, and Manus for deploying it, plus all of my own templates, right? Almost 20 years worth of business contracts and IP licensing contracts and various, legal work that I've performed. I've uploaded all those templates. So what we're talking about here is shifting the way you use AI from agentic AI, which is what a lot of Claude is, which is what a lot of the Facebook groups out there focus on, and even the workshops. How do you automate tasks within the law firm? That's great. That's one component of it. And then the second component is obviously generative AI, right? Image, blogs, videos, all of those things that generate a response as you type in a prompt and it gives you back feedback. Here, what we're talking about is using AI or the capabilities of AI for its logical thinking, for its computational powers, for its vibe coding, capabilities, which is what we're doing here. So it's the use of agentic AI and prompting and architecture, right, infrastructure, in a completely different way. The content that is here, what you're looking at, is a hyper customized dashboard for me, for my firm, for my clients, right? Based on what I know. These are templates that I've worked on, thousands of them, over and over again. I trust that more than the generic answers a ChatGPT thread or a Claude thread might provide. So that's how you eliminate the process of, the fear of hallucination, right? You get rid of the the external content that has a chance of hallucinating. So what we're doing here is essentially we built this entire database. This is in demo mode here, so you can see I can go into a client matter. Now there's going to be some errors here because it's not live, so I'm trying to push a live setting here in demo settings. That's the reason it's not showing up in that manner. But you can see here I can do an intake form. So I can fill out client details, testing, right? Social Security, date of birth. It has their family, spouse information, assets, distribution beneficiaries, jurisdictions, okay, the type of documents they're looking for, okay, and then it gives me a client profile. I can go and take a look this way. Documents, assets, beneficiaries. I can even go ahead and do the reviews once documents are added, right? So I can, the particular type of document they want to get, let's say, and I can use a blank document, or I can upload it from one of the documents that we've been creating, right? That we've uploaded. So these documents are what we know right here, okay? So you can see here in this particular case, it's an IP license. Again, it's not synced properly. I might have chosen something else, but again, this is just testing mode. Here we're looking at custom built. These are all my licensing contracts that I was executing for Fortune 500 companies, or ones that we have processed, right? Similar versions, right? And so you can see here, these are fairly nuanced, right? Very long signature page. You can add new sections here, provisions, witness blocks, and so on. Again, it's not integrated, so it's not going to show up properly. I can go into the actual documents at a high glimpse. I can take a look at the actual documentation. So you can see here 22 sections I have uploaded as part of this contract. You can add new sections. Okay. And you can obviously just go in here. If I want to edit, I can just go edit and change it up. Okay. Schedules, same thing. I can add a schedule. Execution. You can see signature block recitals, whatever it is, right? What is required. It has a cover page. Okay. And all of this is print-friendly format. So you can even send this to clients, right? You can, in progress, let's say here, new document. Okay, you can have checklists for your staff or even for the client. Okay. Templates, documents, high level overview, add new clients, as I just showed you that. Let's see if I go in here, I can see an existing document. You can see we've gone through the process. New document created, same thing here, right? This is what it shows up inside of a client's portfolio. Export it, you can preview. Here's what it looks like. Checklists. You can share it, export it as a PDF, Word. Let's see if it shows up here. Okay. And here's the thing, the cost of doing this, once you learn the nuances of this, nothing. It's free. It's included in the monthly subscription that you're already buying, $200 a month or so. All of this together, and I'm not talking about just this one platform. I'm talking about, hundreds of other technologies we are currently building and have already built, many of which have even secured funding. And a few of them, we are in the process of securing funding. We have about $30 million in grants, technology grants that we've applied for. This is one that we're presenting to a few delegates at the White House that one of our partners is going for, right? So we're looking for $100 billion. Sorry, $100 million. And to extract and put out $100 billion of IP. You can see here this particular one. Again, this is slightly off topic. It's not the estate planning, program or tool, but it is related, right? These are all my IP clients. This is what I showcase, right, as a portfolio of clientele. And then the clients that want to build technologies, if they have estate planning or business or nonprofit or foundation or tax or, LLC documents, that's where the estate planning software comes from. But all of this, these are all our clients. As you can see here, we're experimenting with all kinds of experiments. Here's another one, a probate calculator that we built. Let me show you that as well. Actually, I'll just go ahead and create a whole video around that. But hopefully you can see, right, the ability to create these sort of platforms. You even embed videos in here. So these are videos. Let's see, AI clone.
Hi, Sid Pedinti's AI clone here. Quick question. What if your brain is already a startup?
Okay. I'll send you these videos. You can take a look at them because a lot of them are around this topic of building a hybrid AI brain. Okay. The way I'm building software at scale, number one, I have built these software in the past. Actually spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and represented over 1,000 tech companies, helping them convert ideas into tech products. So the architecture, the logic, the frameworks, the protection, how do you monetize it, all of that obviously is something that I have been doing for a very long time, right? And so for me to understand how to give instructions to a team of coders who are then spitting out platforms like this, right? And this is a full IP extraction software that I want to show you real quick since you're here. And these are some of the features, by the way, that you can incorporate site by site. This is the back-end architecture. So all of this, what we're doing is extracting the nuances, the stories. And you can see here how interactive, like this is filling up as we go. Okay. A custom built software to your needs, to your customers. I used to do all of this in my IP firm manually. It would take me 8 to 10 hours. Interviews like this, right, on Zoom or back in the day, what was it? Skype. Excuse me. And then moving from there to Zoom, and then eventually Teams, and then now Google Meets. And now to eliminate all of that, I decided, hey, why not just go ahead and create an interview? Let's see if this pops up. I'm already using the camera here, so it may not show up. Camera access denied. Essentially what this is an interview process. Now the client can review all of this information, looks good, schedule interview. It walks them through my experimental program. They can book a call, complete and save blueprint. Okay, what happens next? And on my end, I have an admin dashboard where I can take a look at what people have filled out. I can look at all the submissions, the actual form, right? Video interviews. So I can send this directly to a client who I'm looking for. And I work with a lot of TEDx speakers and writers. That's my primary audience database, as well as now offering these services to attorneys, right? I have not worked with too many attorneys in the past. And the ones we have, again, were very entrepreneurial, very innovative, who are mainly in, the IP sector, I would say, right? Who are interested in creating new programs, technologies, and they were innovative, very innovative folks. Just, I consider myself in the same category. So again, going back to the fundamentals, this is about extracting legal expertise, know-how, stories, the things that you have learned in your practice that I don't know, that nobody else will know except for you. You're the only person who contains those nuances, right? Those secrets that you have experienced in your, rich experience of offering premium or low-end boutique legal services, whether it's estate planning, whether it's DUI, whether it's, entertainment law, IP law, business, contracts, civil litigation, criminal litigation, doesn't matter. Personal injury, employment law, tort law, the know-hows, the systems, the technologies that you can build are, out there, right? The ideas are already out there. The need is out there. And the secret, the frameworks, the logic to build software like this is contained in your brain. This is very hard for you to build, right? Unless, you can go ahead and try to vibe code it, take snapshots, try to duplicate my video. It doesn't matter. Because by the time you build that, I would have advanced this by 5 other moves. Because this contains experiences, expertise, and actual hands-on work with people who are on technologies. Thousands and thousands of times. I already know what's going to happen if people get funded, when they don't get funded, when you hire developers, right? And so I can walk people through that journey. So all those things are captured in here. The same thing in your practice, right? So the first step is, again, just understanding that all of this, and this is a custom database, like I can actually go and take a look. Let me show you here at a high level. It's almost like a custom CRM.
Oh, it does work. Look at that. In fact, I'm going to take a quick picture here.
So that's what I'm doing, just testing it out, right? And I can push this all to Drive. So there's a secondary database where all of this is stored. I'm not going to show you that right now. I got to pull it up. It's not ready. I wasn't planning to go here, but sorry, I digress. Okay. But this is about one platform. It costs me, $200 a month to build all these experiments in Manus. Now, Manus is not going to do this by itself. You have to architect, guide, lead, command the AI brain, this hybrid brain that you're going to create with your core intelligence. Okay. So the trick here is not using AI for generative or even its agentic functions, direct agentic client-facing functions, rather for deployment as a deployment engine, as architecture, as infrastructure, where all the content, going back here to the estate planning software, I trust the content that is going to populate here, right? I trust the content that's going to populate for these contracts here. Because why? I have executed over $20 billion, digitized over $20 billion worth of these contracts for companies like Hulu and Disney and NBC and Sony and Panasonic and, all the entertainment giants. These are the softwares I built for them. And let me tell you, these were 3 to 5 year gigs, costing $4 to $5 million, and large tech teams. I was the liaison, extracting the knowledge from the lawyers, creating these architectural, designing the UI, UX frameworks. What should it look like for the internal parties? What should it look like for the sales team, for the accounting team, for the finance team? All these different parties who wanted to use these contracts, okay, that we designed or that we're already digitizing. Okay, and why is that important? You have a sales guy out in the marketplace who's cutting a deal, and every time he has a question of what he can and cannot say, constraints of the contracts, the limitations, you think he's going to go in here and read these things and try to understand it? Or he wants to buzz the lawyer and say, hey, what is this? And that was what's happening. And as you can imagine, that's a massive waste of time, a drain in the energy, in the efforts of corporate lawyers who should be drafting these contracts, right? Each of these contracts, and having done this myself, takes days, sometimes weeks to piece together. And then you have sales or accounting or some other teams bugging you all day. So, I've designed these large software frameworks where AI was used as architecture between 2010 and 2020, I believe was the AI revolution 1.0, where companies like IBM Watson essentially were the back-end corporate enterprise platforms, right? You had to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to make use of these platforms. And so the people with access to investor dollars and large tech teams were the ones who were using AI as architecture. You're loading data, okay? Like this. You're loading data. In this scenario, platform here that I'm showing you, what percent of hallucinations do you think are going to occur? 0. I am not using any content from the internet. These are preloaded contracts that I trust, that have executed, that are in the marketplace, done billions with it, right? In transactions, coordinated billions of transactions that I can put here and confidently send out to a client. Okay? And that's why this is important. That's why having control of your data, using your own data so you're not subject to sanctions and bar disciplines and things like that, is going to be important going forward. Okay, so that's it for me. This short video hopefully gives you some understanding as to how we're creating these software applications. Now, if this looks overwhelming, that's okay. Don't be overwhelmed, right? I've been doing this for 15 years, building legal tech. Actually, 18 years, since 2008. Okay? And I've been representing a lot of tech companies for the better half of 10 years in the AI space, designing these kind of AI infrastructure products. Now, I might not be the best agentic guy. There are others out there who may help you with that. But if you're looking to start an AI company, right? If you're looking to gain sovereignty, eliminate the control the tech platforms have over your law firm, squeezing you of every penny, with zero residual value to you, by the way, because you renting me, over the years, I've spent, like I said, Asset Map and Wealth Council and Clio and all these platforms, collectively hundreds of thousands of dollars, and have zero value. When I sold businesses or law firms or licensed my law firms or like franchise or whatever it is, I cannot say that was my technology. I can't even put that out there, right? So all what was sold as an investment in my law firm with this technology, that's what the tech companies tell you. It's not an investment unless you own it, right? It increases the actual valuation of your business, makes it exit worthy. If you're a lawyer looking at exiting your business, closing it down, maybe retiring, why not transform all those know-hows into a tech and create an exit-worthy scenario? Instead of just hanging up the shingle, you're literally out of thin air, poof, creating million-dollar software applications. Imagine putting all your book of business, okay, that's manual. If all your book of business is on Google Drives or hard drives or whatever, don't worry. We can design this for you. Create an entire technology based on your law firm, on your modules. Now, if you have, ridiculous amount of data, and we're working with some clients now who have given us, for example, I have a client who's given us 200 million profiles from social media, okay? We're building a custom database platform just like this for her. It's in the HR space. Old client of mine. But think about that. It requires you to use AI as architecture. That's what this is about. Replacing SaaS tools with your own million-dollar platforms. Up until a few years ago, you needed, I kid you not, hundreds of thousands of dollars to build something like this. Okay? I did this by myself in about 3 or 4 days. I'm still uploading and refining. And you can see as I go back and find more documents, I keep adding them in here, right? New scenarios. And I'm going to come up and create scenarios where, because, I've detected patterns now, right? Working with thousands of people. So I'm going to go ahead and create scenarios as well, where a full list of documents with projected savings. And we're adding a couple of things. We're going to add a drag and drop tool. We're going to add tax and probate and estate and foundation and nonprofit LLC calculators, real-time calculators built in. We're going to, also add asset visualization maps where you can showcase to your client dragging assets between revocable trusts, LLCs, wills, irrevocable trusts, foundations, right? And I've built these tools in the past and could not deploy them necessarily. I was using them internally, right? I built them on Gemini first, about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And we were using it on Gemini about a year ago, I'd say, showcasing to clients, converting clients directly from it, right? Where you can imagine showcasing your client the actual value, actual dollars you're going to save them that they would have paid in probate. Okay? Is your 5K revocable trust really worth 5K? Is that all the knowledge and value it is? No. It should be 20 or 30K. Okay? But tools like this can help you do that. So we're going to build these things in. But if you're interested in helping me understand, more nuances about your practice, and if you're interested in building more tech tools, replacing all the softwares you have, eventually owning your own software and having nothing but SaaS subscription. The only SaaS I have right now is $200 a month. Okay? $200. I used to spend upwards of $10,000 a month just a few years ago when I was running a very large estate and high-end tax consulting firm. And I know what that can be, how expensive. Yes, it was worth it because I needed that to have the clients and, have that business. But now, we've wrapped up our law firm. I can't even practice law anymore with all of these tools. So by the way, what I'm building here, my goal is to share this with you. I want to help you design something like this in your law firm, right? The way we're actually operating now is almost like an outsourced in-house, R&D labs. We'll worry about the innovation, the technologies, the launches. We'll joint venture with you. We know how to go and unlock millions of dollars worth of funding. I did a whole TED talk around this topic in 2020, how to monetize your IP with technology, which is exactly what we're talking about here, and unlock a lifetime of corporate and government non-dilutive funding, grants, technology grants, to do exactly this. Okay, so if the idea is viable, yes, we'd love to partner with you. We'll walk through the costs involved, but we're going to generally put in upwards of $10,000 to visualize the concept. Okay, at no cost to you. I'll help you piece it all together. Or you're like, hey, Sid, I love what you built. Okay, let's just talk about how much that would be to customize this to your company. Give me all your contracts. We'll load it. We'll test it out. Custom build it to you. You own it. Okay, ideally, we can co-own it. I'm looking to create a portfolio of AI companies. And so we'd love to even fund a big portion of the build to have a small piece of the puzzle and, find other ways to monetize it. But our goal is to be able to empower lawyers to be free, to gain, sovereignty essentially, right? Being able to unlock all the ideas you have and do things on your terms. For me, with building all these softwares and multiple businesses in a matter of hours sometimes, we have unlocked all kinds of revenue streams, right? There's over 30 revenue streams we're working on right now that have converted just in the last few months of deploying these engines. So that's what this is about, my friends. That's all this video is going to be about. And you know where to find me, hybridaibrain.com. Talk soon.